Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, we're going to jump right in. Today we're diving deep into the absolute core mechanics and real-world implications driving the entire crypto ecosystem. We're cutting through all the buzzwords and surface-level hype to really grasp the foundational infrastructure of digital assets. So, let's get into it.
You've definitely heard the intense debates by now. Is this the absolute future of money, or is it just way too risky? Some people swear cryptocurrency is going to completely revolutionize how we exchange value, right? While others, they view it as a highly volatile gamble. But whether you're coming at this with deep skepticism or genuine excitement, we're going to neutrally unpack the mechanics driving these polar opposite opinions.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll decode digital money, then look at how the blockchain actually works, cover the major cryptocurrencies, explore why people buy digital assets, and finally, we'll weigh the risks and rewards.
Okay, Part 1. Decoding digital money.
Let's start right at the foundation. So, cryptocurrency is a type of digital money used to send, receive, or store value online, completely without physical form. No paper dollars, no coins. But the real breakthrough here isn't just that it's digital, it's the cryptographic nature of the currency. It operates as an entirely trustless digital asset. That means you don't have to rely on a central bank or some middleman to verify it's real or guarantee the supply.
And that brings us directly to the underlying technology making all of this possible. The blockchain. Think of it like a digital ledger. Just like an accountant has a physical book to record transactions, well, the blockchain is an immutable, purely digital version of that accounting book. Once a transaction gets recorded in there, it literally cannot be altered or deleted, and that totally removes the need for a trusted third-party auditor.
Moving on to Part 2, how the blockchain actually works.
Let's say you're sending some value to a friend across the globe. Step 1, the transaction is initiated. Basically, you hit send. Step 2, that request is verified by a distributed network of computers. And what's really fascinating here is that this verification process relies on sophisticated consensus mechanisms, stuff like proof of work or proof of stake, to mathematically ensure the transaction is legit. Finally, Step 3, once that consensus is reached, the transaction is securely added to the ledger for good.
Which brings us to our next absolutely critical concept, and that's decentralization. There is no single central authority calling the shots. By distributing the ledger across a massive global network, the system brilliantly solves that single point of failure problem we see in traditional banking. Think about it. If one server goes down or one corporate entity gets compromised, the broader network itself, it remains completely secure and fully operational.
All right, Part 3, the major cryptocurrencies.
Now, while there are literally thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, a few dominant players really shape the landscape. We've got Bitcoin, or BTC, acting as the original pioneer and a primary store of value. Then there's Ethereum, ETH, which fundamentally shifted the whole space by introducing programmable smart contracts. And of course, we also have highly efficient super high-speed networks like Solana, SOL, and XRP.
The crucial takeaway here is that while each of these coins has vastly different technical goals, ranging from acting as digital gold to serving as a global operating system, they all share the exact same foundational DNA. They're different vehicles, for sure, but they are all driving on the exact same digital road of blockchain technology.
So Part 4, why buy digital assets?
Why are people actually putting their money into this? Well, there are a few key motivations. Some folks use it practically for fast, borderless online payments. Others are investing purely hoping for a potential increase in value. And honestly, a lot of people are just driven by a deep interest in the underlying tech itself. Interestingly enough, it's that constant tension, actual real-world utility versus pure financial speculation, that drives so much of the market's notorious volatility.
Which leads us right into Part 5, weighing risks and reward.
There's this constant tug-of-war when evaluating the crypto landscape. On the one hand, you have the incredible advantages of true digital ownership, incredibly fast global transfers, and permissionless financial innovation. But on the flip side, we're dealing with very real disadvantages. Huge price volatility, pretty sophisticated scams and fraud, and significant regulatory uncertainty as governments worldwide scramble to adapt. It really is a balancing act of cutting-edge innovation against some very modern risks.
Because of that inherent volatility we just talked about, the golden safety rules for navigating this space are absolutely vital. Seriously, always do your own comprehensive research before engaging with a new asset. Stick to highly vetted, trusted platforms. And fundamentally, and I can't stress this enough, never invest money that you can't afford to lose.
So, that brings us to one final, pretty provocative question to leave you with. Will cryptocurrency actually become everyday money?
Look, it's undeniably forcing a global rethink of what money actually is and how value moves across the internet. Whether it ends up just quietly integrating into our back-end financial plumbing or completely overtakes traditional fiat currency, understanding these fundamental mechanics is your key to navigating whatever comes next. I really hope this explainer brought you some valuable clarity today, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning and exploring this rapidly evolving frontier of finance. Thanks so much for joining me.